Welcome back to the Realist Podcast. How you guys doing, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, we back. We here. We in effect. Yeah, just like that. Yeah. Anyway, we got a new show for you tonight. Yeah, it's called Mediocrity Show. America's biggest issue. Our biggest issue is mediocrity. I promise you. On everything. I promise you. I'm telling you, America's biggest problem is mediocrity. Yes, indeed. I'm going to explain to you why in a few, but I will ask you first to bear with me. The Willis Podcast got something special coming. I promise you. I got the clothing line is coming. It's coming. There's a lot of, if you fellow YouTubers, you know how it is when you got to, there are the back end work that you have to do to make sure your stuff is pumping and precise. And, it's a whole lot that goes into it. So, just trying not to get banned, trying not to get suspended. There's a lot of hurdles, and then you just got to fight through them. You can't blame them on nothing. You just got to listen. You got to learn, understand, digest all that shit, keep moving. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's the biggest issue is when to make people give up is when you stop trying. Don't ever stop trying about nothing. That's what makes you mediocre. For real. So being mediocre is always having these great ideas and never coming into fruition and never being accurate. But see, the thing is, it's when you don't try. See, success comes when you keep going at it. When you just don't ever, when you just keep on battling at something. It's like an equation that you got to get right. It's like something that it has to measure up. It has to align. But remember, it does not have to be the perfect time. Trust and understand that when it aligns and it's precise, that's when it's time to move. That's when it's time to move. That's when it's time to hustle up. Seriously. Because if you don't, you can miss that specific moment. Or when you can rise, it may look like not going nowhere, but I promise you, you just keep going every day. You will make those strides. It's inevitable. It has to happen that way because you want it to. All you have to do is keep talking it, moving it, positioning it, and thrusting yourself into it so it can come into existence. That's what it takes. See, a lot of times, the reason why the spirit of mediocrity exists is because we live in a very peculiar nation here in America. It's America's biggest issue, is mediocrity. But how did it get so mediocre? Well, it depends on how you want this question answered, but I'm going to answer it my way. That's right. So we got some real moments for you. Let me explain something to you about America. First of all, I want to be clear when I say this. This is not the land of immigrants. I repeat that, this is not the land of immigrants, especially when there was an indigenous class. I'll tell you this again. There was an indigenous class of Amarucan, Aboriginal, copper color, melanated people. My ancestors were, and who we are the victim of foreigners. All of you foreigners. That doesn't mean you're hated. It means you are the foreigner. But what you are witnessing and what and who I am is Aboriginal here. Do you understand? See, the problem is how history was written, even by the books that I can read to you right now. it will always add this little African connotation that don't belong, that's associated outside of what we actually are here. And then there are the unlearned that says everybody's from Africa. That's not true. How do you get Aboriginal everywhere? So that means you actually believe in the out of Africa theory. You can't have two things at the same time. That means you don't even understand what Aboriginal means. Do you understand? These are in recent times to where human populations were manipulated, moved, distorted, and turned upside down in every which goddamn way possible because of the European domination. Disorient the whole world, make everybody disoriented. So you go to thinking you from somewhere you're not. Do you understand? You adopt. You adopted my ways, not the other way around. You were entirely too uncivilized to be even remotely civilized when you come to the West. Where do you think you get your civilizations from? Ours, your last conquest. Manifest destiny, as you say. European? No. You made yourself God. God never told you shit. And that's the truth. When you understood the weaknesses of all Aboriginal people, because the European, the Caucasian was always on defense. You have to look at how you were raised. You have to look at your terrain in the area that you come out of in the first place. If you have pale complected skin, you can be nowhere but from that place. It was the African that had that absurd amount of frail babies. Frail babies. They kept them alive. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing calls them the Grimaldi. They took the children up into the Caucasus so that they could survive. And then there were the wildlings. Yeah. Different kinds of people in different kinds of places. Walking on four legs like an animal with a tail. That's what crawled out of the Caucasus. So a lot of, it's this even they let my people go, lie ass tale. That was a lie, never true. That people writing, people have, for the past 2,000 years, people have been writing themselves into history. It was a thing for Europeans, Huguenots, and people that wanted to be great. Lancelot was black. Literally all of the Nordics, the Russians, the Scottish British Isles, Italy, Germany, all of Eurasia was dominated and beautifully civilized by Aboriginal blacks. Aboriginal blacks were your fathers and your mothers, and you knew it. That's why the whole world, especially Eurasia, has that disdain for their mother and their father, because that is the way they proclaimed and named the art of domination and modernization. It didn't have to go that way. They knew they had to take advantage of the rightful shifts in how civilization evolves naturally, but they wanted to be at the forefront of it. They allowed the indigenous to do what they naturally do under suppression. See, the gods understood us because we even created in spite of. But it is unnatural to take. See, how I see it, the Caucasian has had every single right to right the wrongs in their every existence of history, but they chose wrong every single time, including with the decisions of technology. Understand me well, including technology, choosing the lesser of grades than the highest of high in order to keep it perpetually enslaved and not keep people free of bills and free of automotive body changing auto parts. These parts can be made forever. Things can be made to last forever, but they won't do it because they want to keep a perpetuatory people in a perpetuatory state of enslavement through bills and through perpetual that kills people. But you have to align your mind outside of those things in order to exist and at least be coherent in order to understand how to live in these entrapment times. So that was just the attention gainer. But first whip moment, I want to tell you like this: it's too many Chiefs. See, when the Caucasian came to the land, and even the Huguenot, the black, came to these lands, they understood after studying and stinking, they understood very well, but they had this disdainment because they had never seen nothing so great. So they had to take this whole egalitarian society that they had saw in their brain, understood, and that they saw the spoils of Atlantis in real time, and killed it all. Went in reverse, took it in a hyper overdrive in reverse, so that they can say, "I'm going to make this in my image like they God." That's what they call manifest destiny. Wipe what these people have done away, these great people, and we're going to remake it in our image after we have surveyed and we done got the system of government, the Iroquois Declaration of Independence, and all of these, the Constitution, all of these were already in place. This was already here, already here. Some buildings they've been burned down. They went in and fucking like they do houses, keep the bones. Keep the structure and rip every other thing out and burn it and destroy it and sell it off to other countries and rename that shit too. Yeah, it's up for real. Too many Chiefs. The problem with the Americas was because we went back into tribalhood because of the inception and the briberies and the underlaying handies out, because what can you do when this shit keep happening and you understand that you got to fight against your brother that you've known forever, but these newcomers, knowing they're here to stay, that will break any culture and civilization down. And when you broke us apart, we lost our unity. We even lost our names. We even lost our identity. We lost our fucking minds. Too many Chiefs. Next whip moment. Too many weaklings as well. Sellouts. I would tell you like this. I would be a liar and a fool if I told you everybody that came before me in my own ancestry was good. Yeah, that's a lie. Got a lot of sellouts. A lot of power thirsty. A lot of mulatto blended in with me, not the other way around. The unidentifier, the white man's soul. Peter, Algonquin, huh? See, the thing is, when the white men came over here before 16, we talking about in the 1500s, 1500s, yeah. So these plans were set in place. They was licking their chops on America, figuring out every motherfucking way. They had done it to every land, so they was very good at it. Very good at it. They had got the whole world to stand against us, making treaties and deals. When we capture and when we conquer the Americas, then we will be. Then you see how you can The new world. You see that? You see that whole fucking implementation there? The new world. They even implemented Jesus, Christianity, showing you identifies with gods that you have already had, already shown reverence to over time and eons. You live in the old world. This is the new world. Yeah, that's how they can take you. That's how they can rape you. That's how you can realize when you bow your head. You know the story. Anyway, too many weaklings. Some people like gifts, fly shit they ain't never seen, trinkets. But it wasn't a little, it was a lot of it. We got some violent motherfuckers like guns, new shit you ain't never seen before. Put down the arrow. Put down your spiritual system. We already had the cross too, though. Seasons of nature, death, and renewal, life. But with the man, father, mother, child, renewal of life. Algonquin, Algonquin, Powhatan, me, mama side. Mama's side. Granddaddy, Choctaw, Powhatan. Choctaw, Emmanuel Smith, Choctaw. Mississippi, Yamasee, Choctaw. You ever heard of stories? Choctaw, Chickasaw, I'ma say it. Louisiana's the capital of the South. New Orleans, that's royalty. Why you think the levees broke with Katrina? The royals, they wanted to expel. George Bush know the history of the America. They always trying to expel us. 2005, tried to expel us then. Kill them. They tried to, why you think it's so much, why do you think some people on our ass so bad? Because we are the biggest indigenous class of people on planet Earth that was done this way, and it was the worldwide crime. The world capitulated crime was against the Black American Indian. Profusely. Still is. World's biggest threat, Black American Indian. Yeah. That's what it really and truly is. Next book moment. Lies that only certain people believe. We have mysteries that we have to master. They have his stories of lies. Do you understand? So, the Spanish ran us out of our homelands in the Yucatan. Ran us off our shores in Pensacola, Alabama, Mobile, Jacksonville. It wasn't just Jamestown, but that was the start because they let like what Malcolm X said. His mama was a Powhatan. She said we didn't land no Plymouth Rock landed on us. That's his mama because she was a Powhatan like my mothers and my great mothers and my great mothers and fathers. And you have people that are literally Siberian. No, they are Siberian and refuse and want to talk about a Dawes Rose. There's no such thing as a fucking Dawes Rose. No, or no blood quantum. There's no such thing as none of that shit. It was a creation by foreigners. I keep telling you, this overlay society, renaming, reclaiming, redestroying, redistributing names about some bullshit they know nothing about and refuse to admit to because they know what they did. Shit. Man, lies that only certain people believe. I've read books and books and books, but you have to understand what power and force, the difference between the two. We still have the power. They just have a fuck ton of force. But see, when your force is no longer backed by a lie that should have never been told in the first place, but it was. I mean, we can't deny that the lie wasn't told. Motherfucking lie was told. It was told. Oh yeah. It was told on purpose, and it was also told in reverse. Like you tell a lie in reverse so that you have so many sensitive Caucasians that have so feel like they feel like they have so deep ties to this land. You only been here about 400 or 500 years, for real, or less, far less. See, my people didn't come here from I'm not an FBA. I told you that. They my cousins, close cousins. So that's my family. Watch your motherfucking mouth. I'm an Aboriginal. There's a difference. Or is there? It's whatever who the fuck want to believe, but I know who I am. So I don't come with the bullshit, and I don't come from Africa either. No disrespect to the motherland of people from the East. America is my motherland. But the motherland of people from the East, that's their motherland. That's even Caucasians' motherland. That's their mothers and fathers. That's why they persuaded you to believe that too. You follow your children's. You listen to what children say. You can't believe what children say. They the babies of the planet. They don't know nothing like that. Yeah, they do though, because you think you're supposed to believe them because they run the world and they don't. They do now. They the dominant society because of force, not because of power. Shit. Force is one thing. Power is another. Some power is just everlasting, and you run out of force when it's a farce. Okay. Check it out. Let's get to the next moment. See, the lack of truth in this country has put certain people in very perilous situations. When everybody knows the kind of lies you tell, the specifics of the lies that you tell, and how you tell these lies within Congress, with always promising shit and never doing shit, you know, sometimes you got to sit back and see how shit fall out. Understand the terrain and who's in charge, their ideologies, who they are, and why they function, and where do they function, and why does it not align with your methodology and your ideology? See, that's the problem with immigrants. They never forget to align with their homelands, but we are from here, so we are treated as the perpetual stepping stool. That shit is over with. So that's why that's the purpose of delineating. That's the purpose of understanding and positioning ourselves for what? Yeah, the inevitable positions of fucking power, nothing less. Simply because of a couple of reasons. We've been downtrodden. We have been taken advantage of by foreigners. We have been treated as if we were refugees in our homeland since people have come here, not the other way. Now I didn't come here in slaves, and I ain't been no goddamn slave. That's why the Will Is podcast have so much more to teach you and show you so that I can back this shit up on top of show, on top of show, on top of show, and on a couple of other shows. I'll talk about other things, but I told you, this show is an experience because I'm sharing with you my experiences. That's why it's an experience. I have an extraordinary life that I've lived, and we're just tiptoeing through it. You know what I'm saying? We getting through it, but we tipping through. We ain't gotta move fast here. I ain't got to bring out every goddamn book on one show. I got some books and shit that y'all ain't never seen before, and I'm gonna show it to you. Don't get me wrong. I've shown you plenty, but that's an inkling, a piece. We ain't even got through real reading sessions yet, simply because I'm new. I'm just out here. I'm fresh. I ain't been on a year yet. 9.5 months, 1.3 million views. Thank you. 1.3 million views. I owe that shit to thank you so much. I ain't been out here a year yet. I'm grateful to you guys. I'm appreciative to you guys for tuning into the Wilderness Podcast. It's a pleasure. It's a treat. It's a privilege. That's how I feel because I get to sit up here and do this passion project that I got, and I'm starting to like it a lot. So I'm grateful for you tuning in. I'm grateful for you checking me out. I don't have the biggest following yet, but I appreciate the views. I don't have people that watch me constantly as I don't know. I mean, I appreciate the support globally. I appreciate the people that I don't know that watch this show. That's the purpose of YouTube, to get out here and touch people that you don't know. Get your message and your point across. Say what you got to say and keep it moving. But anyway, back to the show. Back to what I got to do for you guys. That's the problem with the lack of truth. The lack of truth affords you the opportunity to keep making shit up that don't make sense. All you have to do is really study, really look deep down, and look how hard it is for people to migrate and move. And when we fought you and beat your ass and kicked your ass and won those damn battles to keep ourselves in place as we were, you still fucking altered. That's why we're still in the states that we are in today. You still backpedal. You destroyed everything. 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 And you lied about everything. And you gave these casinos to these Siberians, these mixed Indians, they Siberian and they got our blood in them. That's why you got to have some black blood. We the whole black. What do you mean? Japan said, to be a samurai, what you got to have, black blood? But we the whole black. We the whole copper color black over here. You gotta have some of them in you. Who, the ones that you sold out and took our place and cosplay now? And then go around having powwows talking about I'm doing the white man dance because the white man gave us this dance. That shit that's bizarre. It's crazy. And you know the damn truth and want to stay. You can't run around and keep doing that shit, man. That's not okay. Because what you're doing is you're selling some shit that don't belong to you. You're selling a legacy and you're selling it out because you shouldn't even be. You should know where you come from. You know you know who your mothers and fathers are too, Siberia. That's why you're so attached. That's why you understand. You know who taught you, and you know what you took, and you know what you still continue to cosplay. Go to New Orleans. Go to the Mecca. Go to New Orleans, the Mecca, and you'll see how we get down. Because I'm from Pensacola. I'm from Pensacola. Mardi Gras happened all the way down. So I told you, American Indian, that's the American Indian dance. That's it. It's Mardi Gras, baby. Yeah. Aboriginal. Same shit they do down there in the islands. They had their little indigenous day, they Caribbean Day parades and shit like that. That's what Mardi Gras is for, that's what it is. Freaking people central. Shit, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Man, did y'all know America always been freaky? We always been a little, off. But when people came here, they were treating this motherfucker like Ellis Island, raping and robbing and fucking stealing and kidnapping fucking kids. It was a horror story. You talking about taking kindness for a weakness? That's where that shit came from. Hospitable to strangers? Yeah. To the wrong fucking strangers. Oh, yeah. So you understand, this is an overlay society. overlay. There's a whole world that exists between the surface and the soil. Next what moment? The lack of education. Why do we not know these things? Why are there so many foreign blacks that come over here and say, act like our kids can't read in this? That means you're so insensitive. You don't even understand the kind of trick that was pulled on us over here. The lack of memory. Days in the sun are running for survival, having to capitulate, to blend in. America's a big continent. We caught on. But we had to stay quiet, hide our children, hide identities, hide royalty, hide every fucking thing. Blend in. That happened here. Foreigners invaded here. I don't give references to no Native Americans. There's no such thing as them. It's an American Indian. They are not native here. You only been here a short amount of fucking time. And you're not the Clovis people either. Stop it. Was there a land bridge? But were they Caucasian? Nope. That's the whole trick. You can go to fucking Alaska right now and you can catch dark-skinned Eskimos or dark-skinned Aboriginals up there right now. They don't look like these pale motherfuckers. They're them blending in with Europeans. They're cousins. Do you understand that? Well, I'll tell you. It's a lot of lies. A lot of lies. A lot of lies. Overlay, and lie. Everything that you learn, you should look at in reverse. I promise you. It's the only way to see things now. Everything else doesn't make any sense because it has no sense to be made to it. So let's look at the next moment. We're going to talk about, this lack of education. Let me explain something to you about this lack of education. I got to get a book. Yep. You know we love bookshelves on this show. Don't act like you don't know. All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to stay plugged in, you know what I'm saying? Oh, whoa. All right, microphone check. Okay, we good. Flipping. All right. Okay. All right. Let's get to somewhere. Yeah. Let me read something. It's called The Secret Code of Jinn, Book of Psalms. Discernment. The first secret is that there is no religion stronger than the truth, and there is no lie stronger than religion. The universe is governed by the balance of projective and receptive aspects. In order to have love, there must be hate. The same with light and dark, hot and cold, etc. You have one without the other creates an imbalance that destroys the mind, body, and spirit of all things. Be sure to love that which is the harmony with the order that hate that which is against it, even if it comes from within thyself. No matter what race, religion, or status you may be, you must hate the ignorant nigger, but love all progressive niggas. Hate the redneck cracker and copper clones, but not progressive clones and Caucasoids and Caucasians. Hate the Jesuits, but not peaceful Muslims. Hate the Christian crusaders, but not one who walks with the footsteps of the true Christ. This is the core lesson of survival in jinn and man alike. 3. There are demons walking amongst us. The definition of demon or demon is not an evil spirit. It's actually a level of man nature in its lowest depths. Hence the prefix D before man mean less than or subhuman. Man. Demon. Genie love, variable. She will only give herself to the one she loves, whom loves her more than she loves herself. I'm gonna give you one more, and we're gonna get off tonight. But I'm gonna give you one more. Oh yeah, one more. You got it. Because we gotta finish the what moments now. Chill out. The concept of the three wise monkeys: speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil, are more than what may make them out to be. Moreover, they tend to also leave out of the fourth and fifth of the superseded the importance of the first three. Do no evil and think no evil, because we are frequency beings. We must realize that whatever frequency we open ourselves to, we have an effect on our according to its vibrations in magnitude. Thus, if you speak on a person who has a negative frequency, you will have just opened a door for that energy to enter into your realm of existence. The monkeys represents the things that we must do and not do in order to ascend beyond the animal brain of man. If you wish to achieve and master the higher frequencies of power, it is essential that you completely shut out all forms of evil, be it thinking, doing, speaking, seeing, or hearing. Get all matter of evil from around thee, lest it tempt thee to fall. I got more for you, but not today. That's for another day. But I hope you understand clearly what I'm saying. That's the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope you understand. Damn, I told you I had some goddamn shit. Let's get to the next moment. Shit. That was so tough, man. I hope y'all really caught on that. I thought I was gonna end the show, but I got wait a minute, I ain't done with the shit yet. I wasn't done with the good moments. Goddamn. Okay, my apologies. I'm sorry. Dig this. All right. The lack of understanding and the lack of knowledge. That goes with you. All you. You don't understand it, you have no knowledge. All you want is proverbial bullshit. What's common and popular and what makes you feel fleshly good. Fucking weirdo. Anyway, let me explain what I just told you what a lack of understanding and a lack of knowledge means. It means the lack of respect and self-awareness for self and others. That's what a lack of knowledge means. A lack of understanding who you are, your family, your surroundings, where you come from, what you've been through, who your ancestors are. Bless your heart and your head. That's the show tonight. And I'm going to tell you this. Notice my favorite part. The wheel is go!